Join me while I take my twin daughters on a dinner and movie date to see the Beyonce Renaissance film. Spoiler alert, I was crying 10 seconds in. Our first stop was for dinner at Desta Ethiopian restaurant. It is one of my absolute faves in the Atlanta area. The food and the vibe is always amazing. One thing about me is I love to try new foods from different places, and I've raised my children to be the exact same way. Funny story, when I was dating and single, I would always bring guys here. I didn't like dating men who ate like toddlers, so the way they reacted to this restaurant told me everything that I needed to know. Those little rolls of spongy bread are called injera. You could say injera is an acquired taste because people either really love it or they absolutely hate it. The girls and I love it. After dinner, it's time to head on to the theater. I'm so excited because we went to the concert and now we get to see the behind the scenes takes. I've been following Beyonce's career since I was the girl's age, 12 years old. So creating memories together in this way is absolutely amazing. The thing that stuck out to me the most about this film is how Beyonce manages motherhood versus her career. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you do. Toodles! All right. So yes, we went to see the Beyonce film, and as a huge super fan, okay, Beehive to the extreme. Since again, like I mentioned, like 12 years old, I went to go see the concert. I took my twin daughters with me, also my younger cousin, and we had an amazing time. But what was so great about the movie was getting to see the behind the scenes of how everything went together. It took 4 years for Beyonce and her just beehive, her team of experts. Okay. Because one thing about Beyonce is she's going to hire at the highest tippy top level for her projects. Okay. The best of the best. It is so cool how she always manages to have and form just amazing teams. And that's a key takeaway. But what I want to do is show a couple of videos to talk a little bit about the content that was shown in the movie, and then we'll talk about some of the key takeaways. So let's add the first one.
Like being a Black woman, the way people communicate with me is different. Everything is a fight. It's almost like a battle against will. It's like, can I keep bullshitting you until you finally give up? 3 hours? You got 3 hours? So it's been about 6 hours. Why no drugs? You don't have to. Eventually they realize, if we start, this bitch will not give up. Is there any way we can change the lens on the camera, even if it's a fisheye, so we can get a wider?
This is a fisheye. It's really wide, yeah.
They don't become any wider.
There might be a 6 mil I can look at.
Do not have a track that matches the radius of the table.
So I was just looking up 30-foot height for camera tracks, and they do exist. And if I'm honest, just need my jacket on time. I'm constantly repeating myself. Keep doing the same thing. How do we fix this? Because this is a very big problem. I don't know, keep repeating myself.
All right. That was one of, I think, the greatest things about going to the movie was getting to see how she moves as a manager of people. Like, there's been so many rumors about Beyonce and about how, she's a diva, just not even Beyonce, but I mean, we've heard Mariah Carey, we've heard of, just that diva persona that we assume and that we've attached to a lot of women who are in business or a lot of women who are in the industry. And at the end of the day, a lot of times we have to be that way because it is so hard to get that respect as Black women, as women, period. We're seen as less than. I mean, just not 50 years ago, people were talking about how our brains wasn't formed like men and how, they're just natural leaders and we're just naturally subservient. And having to assert yourself in that environment kind of comes across as rough sometimes. It is rough. I know personally as a business owner, I've been dealing with, not only just the men in my culture or doing business within the United States, but a lot of my contractors and stuff are in, other countries. That brings about different issues about how, gender roles and how gender balance in business and leadership, works. There's been times where I've had to, have some real tough conversations. I've had to catch that attitude in order to get what I want done, because at the end of the day, in a lot of countries, women are just not listened to. They're not respected. They're not invited to sit at the table. So it becomes something that is kind of weird or different for different cultures to have to interact with each other. But I believe that what she said was totally true. Like, as a Black woman, a lot of times we find ourselves repeating ourselves. We find ourselves, being challenged a lot, especially just dealing with, masculine, feminine type, stereotypes or gender roles or whatever you want to call them. So I was so happy to see, as a fan, how she overcomes that, how she works with that. Because when we've been in business for a while and we run into these problems, or maybe we're just new to business, and let's say we're starting out, what I want people to know is that a lot of us are dealing with these same issues. You're going to have to deal with, these same communication issues. You're going to have to deal with building teams. You're going to have to deal with managing people, and different people come from different backgrounds, different cultures, and they're going to bring different things, both negatively and positively, to the table. Okay. So Beyonce, the businesswoman, I had a great time at the movie seeing that, because I don't know about y'all, but if you're a fan, or maybe if you're not even a fan, you're just somebody who kind of can respect her hustle, respect her, business acumen. Like, when I see her or when I watch one of her projects, it's not just the music that makes me a fan. It's the fact that, things are done to a certain level of precision. It's her work ethic. It just really motivating for me to see a woman, especially a woman with kids. All right. Especially a woman with kids. That's what I'm going to talk about with our next takeaway, but especially a woman with kids getting things done. And if they can get things done with the kids with them, like her children and her family were on this entire tour with her. Okay. Blue was on stage. Okay. So managing all of those people, and then also managing your daughter as being a part of the show, you've got to come across that from the aspect of, I'm her mother, but I'm also, the director of this entire, organization. It's just amazing. Okay, let's talk about the next one.
Your opinion, but you gotta calm down. You can't cut the.
Okay, that one's quick. I'm gonna run this one again because we're gonna talk about it. So basically, in this clip, if you didn't hear, they were talking about in the movie cutting out the diva song off the set list, and Blue is like not happy.
I appreciate.
She's like, no, don't cut the song off. And if you went to the movie, you would have seen that she kind of cut her off a couple of times. Like, Blue was adamant, which I adore. Absolutely. By the way, I like that, this 12-year-old, she was 11 years old at the time of being in the tour. Okay. I think that we don't understand that celebrity kids are still kids. And we see a lot of the hate, and we see a lot of the bad comments and stuff. We've been seeing craziness about this girl since she was born. Okay. It started off when her mother was pregnant, talking about, the situation. So just to see her have the confidence to step in and really, assert herself, I adore this. But what I adore even more is how Beyonce responded. Listen to this part.
Appreciate your opinion, but you gotta calm down. You can't cut the.
Listen to her.
Appreciate your opinion, but you gotta calm down.
I appreciate your opinion, but you're going to have to calm down. Okay, so that does two things when you're a parent, especially with girls. I love that she nurtures her assertiveness. I love that she nurtures um her decision making, okay, her independence by affirming her and saying, "Hey, I appreciate your opinion, but you're going to have to come across that in a different way. You got to understand that, number one, when you are joining an organization, it can be, yes, some places are collaborations and other places are places where you have to just kind of take direction. You're not the owner, okay? You're not the one that's in charge here. And that Capricorn energy, because if you didn't know, Blue Ivy is a Capricorn. I have a Capricorn child. They are bosses. They are born bosses. They're born knowing exactly what they want. They're born trying to get to it. Okay. So I really enjoyed watching her, affirm that, hey, that boss energy, but letting her know, hey, there's a time and a place and there's a way that you have to say this.
You can't compete.
They did not remove the diva from the set list. Okay. So they respected her opinion, not only to the point where it's like, hey, let me affirm you, but hey, we're going to affirm you at the ultimate. We're going with that too. So it was nice seeing that in a set list. Seeing it on the screen was insane. One of the best parts about seeing this movie, okay, is watching the outfit changes. Watching the outfits changes. So let's say you're on TikTok, right? You've seen how they do like the little transitions where it's like, one more I'm makeup list and the next moment I do like this and then now it's a big reveal. It's like many of those throughout the Beyonce film. They're showing the same clip. Look at this again and you'll see how I think it's like 2 outfit changes. Look. And then it just goes to another outfit change. That happens throughout the whole movie. So you get to see, different aspects of the fashion, different aspects of, you get to see the underneath while they're raising her up from the rafters, and you get to see them hook her up, and you get to see. Here's one of the things that I love that they included. They actually included when the mistake was made, when the whole power went off and what happened behind the stage. For me, that was such a teachable moment. I'm probably going to go back and do another video, a whole video on this, but it was such a teachable moment going with my children and showing them, hey, you can't freak out every time there's a problem. There's a show to be done. Okay. We've got to get back here. We don't go back. Beyonce did not go behind the scenes after that. Those lights shut off. There was so much controversy about that. Like, oh, she probably did this and cussed everybody out and did all these things. It showed absolutely none of that. She literally went back there and was like, okay, what's the workout round? What happened? What are we going to do? Not just the performer, like a performer, somebody who was only a performer and not a boss, not a director, would have just, went back there and kind of waited around and y'all let me know when y'all are ready, and just kind of real passive about it, because their job is just to perform. It's y'all's job to do all this. No, Beyonce is a business owner. She is the leader of her organization. She went back there, got the information again, because you've got a team of experts. They came and gave her all the information that she needed to make the decision in the moment of what they were going to do next. It was one of the best teachable moments, I think, as a mother that you could have if you are raising daughters who you intend to be leaders of organizations, work for themselves, and that sort of thing. So if you haven't seen it, I suggest that you go and see it. Great movie, whether you're a fan or not. Even if you don't go, see it in the movies because you're not that big of a fan, definitely watch it and see just how much goes into being this type of leader. Whether you like her music or not, we've got to give her flowers and label her as probably one of the best organization leaders of all time, one of the best content creators, one of the best digital marketers of all time. All right. So thank you for joining in. I will be back again. I'll probably jump back and make another video about that situation. But right now my baby's taking a nap and I only have a little while, so I'll jump back on a little bit later. Thanks.